It's time to go beyond plus ultra for more Boku no Hero Academia.
Yep, it's a dark episode.
Yes, the,
Trigger warnings ahead for all.
the
Gonna be some
darkness.
not fun talk that's gonna happen in this one.
The darkness, it surrounds us all. Wah.
Not in the fun way in this one, sadly.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Gonna be some domestic abuse talk going on here.
Yeah.
And potentially rape.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, your trigger warnings have been given.
15 plus warning if, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, look, man, I figured I'd warn them.
Yeah.
Moving on. So anyway, flashbacks for like 90% of this.
Yeah.
Why isn't this called the Hellish Todoroki family?
Uh, because the manga chapter this is based on was called The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire.
So here's what you do. The Hellish Todoroki family, colon, the wrong way to start a fire.
Put out.
Put out a fire. Done.
Eh?
Because, I mean, last episode we had all of like 3 minutes.
So why not call it whatever the chapter 299 was that I'm sure I discussed it last time.
Yeah, whatever it was for Hawks. Because, like, I feel like he was the main event there.
Yeah.
But yeah, flashbacks is our start. And shocker, there was essentially a forced wedding.
Like those tragic tales.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That would have been a better name. Yep, for sure. But yeah, so we're flashing back. We're having a quirk marriage where apparently Rei, Todoroki's mommy, her family's not doing great. They used to be a high and influential family, not so much anymore. So they want to marry off. Well, I should say, Endeavor decided to offer them his prestige as the number 2 hero to them, as well as the money, in exchange for a marriage with their daughter.
And at first, it seems that Rei. I mean, like, she tried to love him, and there may have been some love there. Do you think there was any love at all?
I don't think there was at the start. I think she hoped that she could grow to love him. Or to, like, make
Tolerate.
the best of the situation, at the very least. That said, I don't know what your subtitle said. Mine said something like about Endeavor having a vision of his flame quirk mixed with the ice quirk. And now I'm sitting here like, what do you mean you had a vision? What does that mean?
I don't remember anything along those lines.
Okay. So I'm curious what yours would have said then. Because the word vision is weird to use for this. Especially in a place where there's quirks. I'm like, do you have some kind of premonition quirk going on here that you're not telling us about? What's happening?
Do you have a timestamp for that part?
It was literally like 45 seconds in.
Loading.
Yeah, 44 seconds is where it is at.
Choosing the spouse to make one's own quirk stronger and passing it on.
So here's what I've got. Sorry, I'm starting at 37 seconds. It says the goal is to make the quirks passed down to their children even stronger. The spouse is carefully chosen to have kids. And then it says, I had a vision.
Choosing the spouse to make one's own quirk stronger and passing it on. The purpose of the marriage was to have babies. It's what I wanted. If my flame quirk and the ice quirk of the Himura family were to mix, I thought we could give birth to a hero who could even surpass All Might. So nothing about a vision.
Okay, so yeah, they did a weird translation thing because it said, I had a vision. If my flame quirk combined with the ice quirk from the Himura family, our children could surpass even All Might.
Okay, but
That's a
maybe,
weird choice of translation for vision.
but maybe it's what I wanted was translated as something about a vision.
That's a weird translation. Like that's wildly different.
Talking about like a deleted episode of Bands Discuss Anime, but that's almost like Goodbye Dongley's level bad translation.
We didn't lose that one. That's just unreleased right now.
That's right. Crap. I'm mixing.
I claim that my memory's bad. I'm starting to wonder about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, but expect a lot of complaining about bad translation because we had horrible subtitles for that one.
What was your first hint? When they had Chinese names?
Yes.
That sounded almost nothing like their actual ones? Even though the subtitles giving credit to the voice actors give us the actual names. Oh, anyway.
Yes.
Yep, forced marriage, blah, blah, blah. Trying to make it work. And then we flash back to the present, and Ray's like, look, you weren't the only one that fucked up. But you were the biggest problem, really.
Yeah. Crap. I forget what I mentioned about this. Like, I think I said in the end the family won't fully forgive him, but it seems that at the
I think
end.
You asked me if I thought they
Okay.
would, and I didn't.
But it seems that they kind of do by the end because
I don't think they fully forgive him. I still don't think they did.
But they
like
seem
even Natsu there is like, yeah, no, only until we take care of this.
Because it seems that they all have slight bit of responsibility that they need to own up to for creating Dabi, like not holding Toya back enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because
like we'll get to that bit. That's at the end here.
Yeah, because we find out that Toya's body really can't handle flames.
I think they alluded to that when we had last season when we were having like that arc with Endeavor at their dinner table.
Yeah, but he inherited his mother's resistance to cold.
Yeah, his body inherited his mother's resistance to cold, but not the resistance to fire.
Even though his flames burn hotter than Endeavor's do.
Mm-hmm. Now, the question would be, right, I would assume with the right training, that could be overcome at least somewhat, or even like the right support gear. That said, we also got a nice little shot of Dabi here. I'm curious now how he got the name Dabi, as he's like, oh yeah, no, Endeavor's not dead yet. I can't wait to see him show his face to the public. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Since they all have wordplay on their civilian names, do you think Dabi is some kind of wordplay or not?
I have no idea. It could be. Although, here's the thing. It might have tipped people off too quickly then. So maybe not. Anyway, we got a picture of young Toya here with a fire shirt on. And he wants to go train. And Endeavor's like, no. Because of exactly what we just mentioned earlier, his body can't handle his own fire. And what's essentially happened during this flashback episode is that, like, Endeavor has shoved so much of his hatred of All Might, or at least his frustration at not being able to get the better of him, however you want to take it, and funnel it almost directly into Toya's brain. Like, it's the only thing Toya thinks about.
I don't see anything about Dabi, but Toya contains the kanjis for lamp and arrow. Oh. Dabi means cremation.
I mean, that's not enough of a tip off to anything.
Okay, but it is still wordplay since he's a fire user.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know if
Okay.
I would consider that wordplay or just, I don't know what I would call it. I wouldn't say wordplay because wordplay to me is immediately like pun shit.
Okay, because Dabi in Japanese means cremation.
That would be interesting if they directly translated it and his actual hero villain name is just cremation. I'm curious
Mm.
what that would do if they did just like blatant translation, what the names would be now.
Ha. Oh
What
man.
what is Lord Explosion Death Murder? What is that? What is the direct translation of that one?
Yeah, and then we flash over to Fuyumi talking to Toya. It's like, hey, big brother, you shouldn't push yourself too hard. You might wind up getting hurt. Oh, you're a girl. You wouldn't even understand.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of rage there. I forget what I'm trying to remember what Fuyumi and Natsu's quirks are. I
Uh,
think Fuyumi's is closer to her mom's, but I don't know if it's as strong.
I think they're both ice related.
Okay. I was trying to remember, and I know Fuyumi's is ice related, but I couldn't remember if Natsu's ever had one, like even had a quirk.
He did, and it was ice.
Okay. But yeah, so we get to see things branch further as Endeavor has more children. And we can see that Toya's not taking it well because that's less attention on him, the guy who's supposed to be, or at least gotten it into his head that he's the successor.
You lit this fire under me, father.
Mm-hmm. And we get to see just Endeavor watching the TV in the dark of just All Might, saving the day, doing all this great shit, and just the frustration and anger at not being able to keep up, which clearly leads to some. It's heavily implied that I think he beats her at certain points in this. Like we see once when he ends up like slapping her or something.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's more than that in some of the other ones because we don't even see that stuff.
Yeah.
I think the one point I'm pretty sure Shoto might have been born out of rape at that point.
Trying to make the perfect child.
Look, it's the frustration with All Might not being able to have a child who would work out right, and just one thing leads to another.
Hmm. And after
Like,
Shoto is born with the three other kids playing soccer, what was up with Natsuo? He was so much taller than Fuyumi, and he was 4 years younger.
yeah, that I'm like, man, did like puberty just hit him real quick or what? Or is Fuyumi just that short that he looks taller?
I don't know, but I was just like, did they get something wrong here?
Look, I could be either or. There could be a mistake, or Fuyumi's just that short.
Uh, let's just see here. Uh, new tab, new tab. Currently, Natsuo is 5'11", and for Yumi is 5'3".
Well, that's what? That's like 8-inch difference.
Yeah.
Plus, we're also talking around the time of like puberty and shit, so things get weird.
But you
Like,
wouldn't expect an 8-year-old to hit puberty and like.
no, I mean like Fuyumi could be a late bloomer in that regard.
Oh, okay.
Like I have seen children stay short for a while and then all of a sudden just explode in height. Like
Yeah.
my cousin was that way. He was short forever, and then he just exploded to get tall.
Hmm.
It was crazy. Within 3 years, all of a sudden, he was like almost as tall as me. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Huh. So either for Yubi did not grow or Natsuo grew early. Or
Look,
both.
man, it's all that training Endeavor made him do. He stretched his limbs out.
And at one point, Toya's hair was much like Shoto's, half red, half white.
It started off almost all red, and then it slowly turned white. Like, you can see it in the flashbacks how it's progressing. But Toya tries training in the mountains for a while with no one knowing, and he gets yelled at because he keeps getting burned. And we have creepy faces.
Yeah.
Yep. And at one point, he's so frustrated that Endeavor's saying he can't help him, surpass All Might, that he almost goes to throw flame at baby Shotaro.
Yeah.
Which I believe Endeavor blocked. I can't be certain. There's also water, so maybe it was a combination of him and Ray stopping him. Or at least Ray protecting while, like with an ice wall maybe or something. And Endeavor blocking the flame. Because we do get to see Endeavor's arm being, like, at least injured. And what looks like some kind of ice thing going? I can't tell. Shotaro's sleeping. He's got, like, the snot bubble. Yeah, Shoto, yeah. Shoto's sleeping. He's got, like, the snot bubble, but there's also, like, frozen ice or something going on there.
I thought that was a little bit funny, like the whole snot bubble trope, but it's a ice snot bubble.
Yeah, because at first I thought, like, wait, is she, like... I thought at first, because of the positioning of it, was Ray putting ice on her arm from also getting injured. But then I'm like, wait, no, that's a snot bubble that's just frozen. What the fuck? Shouldn't that tip over?
They needed to make this light somehow.
But yeah, Endeavor is essentially shunning Toya because he does not want to deal with it, and he has no idea how to deal with it.
And Toya discovers, hey, I can turn
also,
my flames
should we point out that Toya's shorter than both of them?
Oh, I did not notice that. I don't think they had a side-by-side shot of them.
It's hard to tell until they're out there playing ball that Toya is shorter.
Toya Dabi is 5'9", so...
He's taller than Fuyumi, but he's just slightly shorter than...
Natsuo.
Natsuo. But yeah, in this flashback, it looks like he's shorter than both of them.
Huh.
And he's supposed to be 13, I think, at that point. We have that point that we saw earlier of Shoto. I keep calling him Shotaro. Of Shoto being, like, grabbed and dragged along, not being allowed to play. He's got hero training. And we finally see Toya looking up at him with this, like, upset look. And in the middle of the night, he keeps ranting about it to Natsu. And Natsu's just like, come on, man. This is like the 100th time I've heard this, okay? Can you please talk to, like, Fuyumi? And not just me?
She wouldn't understand. She's a girl.
I believe he says all the women in this house are useless.
Oh, yes.
Again, unless my subtitles are wrong.
No, that's what I got too.
Not useless, worthless. And as Toya the next day is going out to do training, Ray comes over to try and stop him, to be like, look, you're not going to train in the mountains again, are you? That's not right. Look, you need to look for other options.
There's other things other than heroes that you can do.
Nah, man, that's something you heard from some stupid self-help book. You got forced into this marriage. We're only existing here because of you. He starts learning about his flame turning blue and being stronger.
Oh, this is so cool. Dad will really be proud of me.
He'll finally look at me. And he goes to ask Endeavor, like, hey, come to the mountain. I got something I want to show you. And he immediately, Endeavor's like, wait a minute. And lifts up his shirt and sees the burns on his stomach. And he's like, you've been using it here where we wouldn't see it. Especially in this spot. Like, after that gets discovered and he starts talking about, like, how you'll be glad to have a son like me or something like that. I'm seeing some, like, Shigaraki vibes here at this point. especially like the way he's tugging his hair. Like something about that nervous twitch or whatever it is. But yeah, that leads to both Toya and Rei getting, I'm pretty sure, beat, or if nothing else, just Rei. And Shoto like screaming at him to leave his mom alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and poor Natsuo and Fuyumi hiding in the corner, trying to not listen to it.
Which is like really depressing that like
Yeah. And even Rei says she can't stop him on her own. But Endeavor wants nothing to do with it. He says Toya is her responsibility now.
And she sees Endeavor in his eyes and
In all her children's eyes.
and she doesn't like that.
No, it scares her.
So
she keeps seeing it.
So she checks herself into the hospital?
No. See, you're forgetting what happened here. She has a mental breakdown where she hucks steaming hot water at Shoto, and that's when she scars him.
Oh, yeah.
Like boiling water right into his eye. After that, she gets taken to the mental hospital.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that. But, like, that's a key part of his backstory, and I forgot it.
Yep. Anyway, Toya's up on the mountain, and Endeavor refuses to show up because he doesn't know how to handle the situation. And it leads to, because Toya's emotions get the better of him, his flame starts getting out of control. Because, of course, Endeavor didn't teach him how to turn it off. He only taught him how to turn it on and get it hotter.
And then he starts crying flames, which explains why Dabi has scars around his eyes.
That does explain the eye scars, but like the rest of the body's still a weird patchwork
of like burnt skin and staples.
Yeah.
So I wish they would get a little bit more backstory on what happened after he set himself on fire.
Well, the only person that knows that is Dabi himself, and this is all that they would know of this situation.
So will we get a Dabi in between down the line, do you think?
I assume so. It'd be weird to leave it blank.
Maybe in the final arc?
Probably in the final arc, at least, that Dabi has. I don't know how long he goes. Like, if he makes it to the very end, or if he gets, dealt with prior. Yeah, all of the family is, like, coming through and, like, realizing what they did wrong here. The more obsessive he got with Shoto, the more freaked out Rei was. Fuyumi knew things were going bad, but she just pretended she had a decent family.
Natsuo could have held him back a bit more.
Natsuo, yeah, could have held him back a bit more, is what he says. Or he could have knocked some sense into Toya, one of the two.
Yeah, I remember that line. Like, knock some sense into him.
Could have also bought, some soba for Shoto.
Soba noodles.
They all take responsibility for it somewhat. They even say Shoto's the only one holding this family together. He's the actual hero here. He's the one that's come out of this in the best condition out of all of them. Mentally and stability-wise. And that's not thanks to his family. That's thanks to everyone else at UA.
Do you think, since Dabi can't handle heat... Oh, is it like Nekotare? I think it's Nekotare, which is a cat's tongue, meaning you can't handle hot temperatured foods.
I don't know what you're asking me.
If his lack of heat resistance also refers to food temperature, like he can't eat steaming hot ramen.
I doubt that.
Okay.
I think it almost directly refers to just his flames being too hot for his own body. I think it's literally what we've been talking about at the start.
Okay, but it would be humorous if there was one of those 4-panel comics about Dabi only liking cold noodles and how he can't have, like, hot ramen.
Maybe.
I don't know. But anyway, we find out that we have some eavesdroppers.
Before that, Shoto offers
Like, he thought Endeavor was useless, that Endeavor wouldn't be able to do it and he'd have to take over. But he admits that he's wrong. When Endeavor finishes crying, he's like, come on, stand back up. We'll do this together. And then, like you said, we got eavesdroppers.
Hawk's the best genist.
Yep.
And, oh damn, Hawks is a fast typer with one hand.
Oh, yeah. Also, I should point out, it seems like his feathers are starting to grow back at some point.
Mm-hmm. Because we see them poking or bulging at the back of his jacket.
Yeah, yep. But yeah, they're talking basically. Also, illegal denim. What's illegal denim?
I don't know.
But apparently eavesdropping is illegal denim.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I don't understand.
But, like, he has too many denim-based analogies?
But he doesn't have a denim-based car. I'm so disappointed in that. At least have a belt strap around it.
And then we get where they fill Endeavor in on the past few episodes with the Tartarus attack and all the villains being set free.
Yep.
And there's, what did they say, like 10,000 convicts on the loose?
Something like that, yeah.
And-
Hawks also mentions that Shoto is I don't know what words he uses there, but it's clear that he actually has the feelings of like Shoto's way better than even Hawks himself is. Because Hawks cut his family ties and Shoto's still trying to like hold it together.
And how there's like 132 League of Villain members still on the loose, and
Yep. That the government's trying to get heroes from other countries to come over and help, but thanks to the fact that the hierarchy, I guess, or at least the bureaucracy side of the hero association has been like kind of crippled.
Mhm.
That shit's not working out because apparently paperwork and bureaucracy is what makes this shit happen.
And it seems that All Might really didn't reveal his quirk was One for All, because Hawks is looking into what is it. And
he never did. He only had a select few people he ever told.
But I thought you said, when I first said this would have been in all the hero guides saying what everybody's quirk was.
You would think, unless he called it something else. That's the only other thing I can think of.
Because
He
I
had to
know,
have called it something else.
because I know when Shigaraki first mentioned it and Endeavor sounded confused, you didn't quite believe that Endeavor didn't know what One for All was.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that he wouldn't know. Because like you said in all the guidebooks, like you would think all their quirk names would be listed. So unless All Might was putting out a different quirk name,
like Muscle Body,
or muscle body or muscle form or something, that would have to be literally it. Like he had to have put out a different name because it would be in those books. And the trading cards and all the other shit that's out there.
Anti-points for you?
I don't know. I won't get points, that's for sure. But like we didn't like put any kind of gamble on this either. So
fair enough.
Plus, all logic would dictate that it would make sense that it would be in there.
Yeah.
It's not like, All for One isn't gonna know immediately, oh, you're the next guy, okay. Yeah, no, they're looking into it, and apparently, at the point here, Endeavor puts 2 and 2 together, and he's like, it's got something to do with Deku. And then, of course, we see Bakugo getting dragged away, like carried back.
By Tetsu.
But was Tetsu there? No, he wasn't there. What Tetsu?
No, I mean, Floppy. What's Floppy's name?
Sue? You?
Okay, so it's just Sue, not...
It's Sue or Tsuyu, depending on which version of it you want to say before the nickname. Yeah, her, Sugar Rush, and Mineta there. Just being like, gotta drag you back.
Of course, Best Jeanist is the only one to call him by his actual hero name. Be like, "Are you okay? Do I look okay?"
And I just thought that the only way to restrain him was with Floppy's tongue.
I mean, like, I don't see another easy way to wrap him up. You could technically, I guess, use Minetta's grapes, but that's going to be more of a pain in the ass than anything else.
Yeah. So Hawks wants to talk to Deku, but he's still unconscious.
Yep.
Talking to
And
the predecessors of One for All.
like I said, I think he's waking up at the end of next episode. I gave it 2 episodes.
Okay.
Unless this is a 2-parter in his head. One of the two. It's
Mm.
either a 2-parter in his head, which I can't imagine they're going to do that for 2 parts. They've only really done that for like big fights. I can't imagine dialogue is going to be a multi-part episode here. I'm assuming end of episode 18 he's awake.
Have we seen all the vestiges unshadowed?
It looks like it. All Might's still not clear. Like in the preview, it looks like it, though I don't think we see all their faces. Because there's a point where we see like a bunch of thrones, and 6 of them are sitting in chairs. One of them I don't recognize. One of them I think is the Danger Sense guy. And then there's 2 that have their backs facing him. So yeah, while we've seen their at least, vague silhouettes, that's the best we got right now. We got to see at least 6 of them.
Yeah, so...
And the weird thing that All Might is, whatever it is. Also, we have a guy that has a collar similar to Best Jeanist, so, maybe there's some connection there. It's not quite as long a neck, though.
I'm still really curious if his neck is part of his quirk.
I will also throw this in there. All Might does mention that he can sense himself inside the quirk still, which is weird. Unless you got a different translation.
I think it was something along those lines, too.
Okay. But yeah, we have it's weird. The 2 that are facing away, what they're wearing kind of reminds me of like Naruto and like what the older ninjas would wear, like with the vest and stuff. It's weird. It's interesting and weird because they've got that same color palette, and one of them has some kind of headband on. So I have to wonder if it says ninja on the other side.
I wish it would.
Turns out it's Ninja Master Gordon. He's got the handlebar mustache and everything.
We have to watch another one of those crappy movies sometime.
God, no. Why would I torture myself?
You can laugh at them.
It hurts every time.
But you're not afraid to reference them.
I may as well get something good out of this terrible thing you forced me to watch.
So, we're going to dive into One for All, and hopefully Deku will wake up on the next episode.
You gonna kill Shigaraki, kid? Hell yeah, man!
I don't think Deku will kill Shigaraki.
Oh no, this is gonna be an Avatar: The Last Airbender bullshit. Not unless he asks to be killed. That's the only excuse I can possibly see, is to put him out of his misery.
Yeah, but I guess that wraps up this episode.
Seems like it.
Yep, we'll catch everybody next week.
Bye.